This is a quick overview of a volumetric light filter in Cavalry. So in the past, I had a need to create a volumetric light effect, and I put together this filter to make it easier. So let me show you how it works. Once you install it, you'll be able to find it in the filters menu over here called Volumetric Light. So let's add it to the layer. Straight out of the box, it does not look super attractive. So let me explain you what is going on before we really dive it in. The default settings are set to low, so they're quite jagged because this filter is rather taxing on the system and requires quite a lot of time to render if you have samples set to the max. So first of all, we've got number of tabs, and the light is our main controllers tab. So you might notice that I've got this filter kind of being cut off at the top and bottom of my essentially composition. This means that to make this filter stretch edge to edge, I need to simply increase the extra padding to maybe something like 600. So to make this filter look better, this whole light effect, we have to play with two settings, the edge softness and sample count. Let me bump up the sample count and you will notice that we're getting more smoother and smoother effect, but now my computer is rather slow and you can see how my mouse is lagging. So I turn down the sample counts low for now. So let me just reset the position of the background. So when I turn down the sample count to 2, you will notice that I have extra copy of my volumetric light text layer. The way this filter works is that I'm essentially creating multiple copies of my source layer, pushing them in Z space to mimic the light shining behind this layer. So let's turn this down to maybe 24. And to make this smoother, we can try to soften the edges to essentially blend all the edges between the layers. So something like maybe 45. And now the effect is much better. For final render, I could use the edge softness of, let's say, 90 and sample count of like 48. But for this demo, I'll keep it too low so I can actually navigate around Cavalry. So with these two controllers, you control the quality of your light. Now let's look at the top. We've got filter opacity, so you can easily fade this light on and off, or only display the rays if you want to. Next, we've got light position, so we can control the position of the light with a null. So when I move it, we get this effect of a light passing behind our letters. And we've got light target, which is off. And to turn this setting on, we have to essentially turn down the light spread. By default, it's set to 180. So essentially, in practice, this would mean anything in front of this light will get affected by this light rays. I'm saying a light because we are kind of faking it. Essentially, I'm projecting rays from a single point and making copies of this layer in kind of 3D space, and then we blurring the edges around to create this fake volumetric lighting look. So to essentially limit the effect of this light, we can reduce the light spread a bit. And as you can see, we can essentially try and affect only part of our image. And we got another controller available to us called light target. So if I add another null to it, so this will be my target, and this is light. So I can move the target independently from the light source to try further customize this effect. Now, this is not 100% accurate as we're not dealing with a 3D space and proper volumetric rendering, so this works just by the approximation. And at the extreme angles, you will start noticing the separation of the layers. So to combat this, we can simply increase number of the samples and blur out the edges. So let me go down to maybe something like 25. So I'm going to delete the target, leave my light as it is, and turn on the light spread to the max. So essentially we are controlling the light from a single point. And let me position it somewhere like in the middle of the composition. Now we've got light intensity. We can boost our light up and down to create essentially a fading or intense light effect. We've got a number of channel modes available here, which we'll come back to it in just a minute. Now, by default, we are essentially shining pure white light through our layer. So we can easily change this to slightly different color to get a different effect. I'm going to leave it on the pure white for now. And we've got last two controllers, ray length and the decay. So we can easily control the spread of our rays. Essentially, if I bring this down, you will notice this circular effect of sorts. This filter essentially is trying to mimic a lens. So by having the ray length be relatively short, we are limiting the spread of this effect. So I can boost it up a little bit. And the second controller controls the decay. So essentially we can decide how quickly this light fades away in a distance to mimic a more heavier fog of sorts or smoke and so on. Now I'm going to add a submesh to my text layer. Make sure you set to characters, enable fill, and then plug in a color array. And immediately you will notice that we've got the effect of light passing through every single letter and projecting the color of the letter through it. It's like it's passing through some kind of a stained glass effect. So if I move it around, you will notice how this whole thing responds nicely to every single light color. I can boost it, maybe 1.5 will be better. Now let's look at the channel section. At the default, we are using all three channels, red, green, and blue. So if I select red only, you'll notice that some colors are slightly dimmer. Let's look at this again. Essentially, we are filtering the ray colors through red channel. If we enable output channel only, we'll essentially output only this channel and it will be tinted, in this case, red. You can tint it green, blue. Luminance will be essentially white as before. And alpha, it just boosts up because we are using alpha to project the light. And we can limit the threshold to try and limit the spread of light. Let me turn off this for a second. So you can see how some of the lights are fading. This looks better on images than on solid color letters. So I'm going to leave it threshold at 0. So we're essentially affecting every single letter, every single color in this example. Now let's look at the Shimmer tab. When I press play, nothing is happening. The light is static. I would have to essentially animate the position of my lights to get some kind of animation going on. The Shimmer tab, when I enable it, you will notice some of the lights will get dimmed and press play. There's tiny bit of variation going on. So let's then modify the noise to be more contrasty and increase the time scale to maybe 1. press play, and now we've got shimmering light shining through our layer. So essentially, we are using default noise shader to create some kind of flickering light, like it's affected by some trees or essentially a flickering candlelight of sorts. And you can play with the settings. You can pick different noise and the light will respond differently. And increase the shimmer strength to get really crazy effects super easily. And we got one more setting, the chromatic aberration. But to demonstrate this better, I'm going to delete my essentially color change. I'm going to only use the white light. Let's position it so we can actually see the rays a little bit better. Then enable the chromatic aberration, and we've got the chromatic aberration split. It's pretty strong by default, but you can dial this down just a little bit so you get a little bit of color accent on the edges. And my computer is getting slower now because essentially we are kind of adding a second volumetric light on top of this one. So I'll recommend to use maybe this effect as a final step before you render. But let me move the null around, and you can see we've got a little bit of this chromatic aberration split, and you can further customize the channel colors individually over here, and you can change the color tint even more to have more unpredictable effects. We have a way to either create a fisheye or concave lens effect. So this affects how this light is split. And we've got option to increase repetition, but in my testing, I found out that one creates the strongest effect. And we can further blur this. As you can see, if you look at this corner over here, I'll zoom in a little bit, to add extra softness to our effect. So I can go back to the light property and maybe reduce the number of samples to 20 and reduce the softness and still get pretty soft effect. So this is a rather specific effect and is pretty heavy on the render if you apply a lot of copies to create super silky smooth light rays. But hopefully it will give you a way to create more unique animations directly in Cavalry. Thanks for watching.